Hey, how you doing? It's Clayton Teeny from the First Home Buyer Club. 100 lessons in 100 days. Day 77, lesson 77. Today, what I want to talk about is first home buyer scams, what you need to know and how to spot it. So, I've asked the question time and time again. I get a lot of clients that ask me, but the simple thing is, do they think that you're stupid? And what I mean by that is that some of these deals and promotions and signs and claims that people are talking about, there's just no possible way they can be true, right? So here's the first one. Number one that I want to talk about is doubling the grants. So you may see that some companies offering 10, 15, 20, 25. I saw one as much as another $40,000 on top of all the government incentives to get you in your own home. Now, think about this. How often have you ever just given a random person $1,000 for nothing? How many times? I can count on one hand. Zero. I've never given some random person $1,000 just for the sake of giving it to them. So why are these companies claiming they're giving you an additional up to $40,000 to get into your own home on top of all the government grants and incentives just for the goodness of their heart? Now think about it, right? Because they can't just be giving it away for nothing. So if they're not giving it away for nothing, where's it coming from? Well, here's a little secret. They're just adding it onto the price. But the problem with that is the only one that gets punished for that is you. And if you've seen any of my Facebook lives where I get real geeky with the numbers and talk about them, you'll know this. For just a $15,000 additional grant at 4%, by the time you pay it off over the 30 years, it turns out to be nearly $26,000. So you thought you were getting 15 grand. In fact, you're paying back 26. There's a $40,000 difference between what they're leading you to believe to what's actually happening in person. And at the end of the day, you are just getting punished for it. You're thinking you're getting given money and it's getting added onto the price, and it's taking you even longer to pay it off, which means then that you're tied into a mortgage for longer than you ever would have expected possible. Point number two, the display home traps. One thing I'll urge everyone to do is when you go to a display home and you walk through the house and they're going to give you that little flyer or pamphlet for that house and the dimensions of what it costs. With the pen, make sure you carry a pen. When you first talk to that lady, ask her, this house, exactly how it is now, if I wanted it right like this, exactly, no changes, how much would that cost? And I've actually had clients that have messaged us and go, we don't understand, walk through this house. It was amazing. They said it was 215,000 something. And to get everything in that house, the skylights, the raised ceilings, the raked ceilings, the big front door, once they included everything, it went up another 70,000. And the problem is that if you get approved for a home loan at that price, and then you're like, oh, I didn't realize I wasn't getting all this in it, because that salesperson's just there to get you to contract and then move you on, then where are you coming up with the $70,000 to get that house that you thought you were getting? Point number three, homes from. You're going to see them a lot on billboards, sometimes in real estate ads, but mostly billboards. Firstly, especially when it's in a development, like it would have gone up sometimes as much as 3 years ago, house and land from $312,000. Now that doesn't exist. The land that they'll advertise for that was the first block. And generally they'll only have one block a lot cheaper than everyone else. And it's to entice the advertiser and go, hey, it's from this price. And then it's like clickbait. Once you get in there and you start asking more questions, you see what's available right now. You find out that the cheapest block next is $50,000, $60,000. It's the same with billboards for houses, right? It can't just be possible that one builder is building a home for $140,000 and everyone else is costing $220,000, $240,000 for a similar house. The other thing you need to understand with the billboards and the signs and the advertisements is they're going to put their best facade or picture of the front of the house up there. That's not going to be the facade that you're going to get with the house. And so it's just a way to claw you in and get you enticed and get you started. And that's when the prices will continue to go up. Make sure that you understand these, especially if you're on a budget, because you don't want to come in at 140,000 and then realize that you don't get anything inside your house and all the outside's out and you're just living in a dump. Be aware of these things before you actually take them in. Point number four. I've started to see it a little bit in the recent month or two, is the free solar, where you can get cheaper electricity rates whilst you pay it off. It just doesn't make sense, right? And the other one we saw was a 2 kilowatt system. Now, I've never seen anyone advertise a 2 kilowatt system. So all that tells me is that, and 2 kilowatt doesn't actually do anything. You know, I've got a few solar friends, and when I talk to them about what's recommended for the basic family, they recommend minimum of tends to be around that 5.5. So at 2%, it probably, what does it cover? It might cover your fridge and your microwave and maybe 1 or 2 lights downstairs. And then you're paying, because they own the system on top, and you're paying the electricity off them at a certain rate until you pay it off. You might also get your own system, because there's a lot of government incentives at the moment. You can get 100% of the returns of what you actually it brings in, and then you can pay it off and it's yours, and you're getting a higher rate. A 2 kilowatt system, I don't think would cover much at all. Point number 5: companies claiming home builder or the new home guarantee, which used to be the loan deposit scheme, is eligible for permanent residents as well. It's not correct. You must be an Australian citizen. There is only one way you can get around this, is if one of you is an Australian citizen, and you can look at getting a spousal guarantor loan. It doesn't work for everyone though, so it's not a guarantee. But definitely permanent residents are not eligible for this. Be aware of that. Don't get sucked in. Don't expect you're getting 40 grand when you're not. Point number 6, the deposit first builder. Sorry, I wrote notes before and I didn't quite understand that. Point number 7, I'll come back to that one, is over promises. And what I mean by that, we've had a couple of clients lately talking about certain areas and then certain things that are about to happen in 5 years, and that's why it's going to jump up in price. And one was about a harbour, and another client was about a train line that's going to get. I haven't read anything about either of them, and you can't find it. There might be talk here and there that these things might be proposed in the future, but unless they're actually signed off on, you don't want to be that person buying on the hope it's going to happen. I personally was one of those people that bought my first investment property, or actually it was my second investment property. My first one I bought for my mum and little brother, and they still rented it off me, but my second true investment property was under the pretense that this nickel refinery was gonna suddenly triple in size, and there was a whole heap of things that there was talk about happening. It literally was just talk, and turns out it never happened, and that was the only reason I bought it there, right? So just be prepared that it's not always what it seems. Do your research and really make sure that it's the right deal for you. The next part is, and I think the deposit first builders is that, and we have had it, if someone's claiming to pay you a deposit first and then you can pay them back later on, just be aware of that. It's a bit dodgy, right? And I'm not saying it's dodgy right or wrong, but just be aware of this. How are they paying for the money up front? Some are inflating the prices. Be aware. Why would you want to overinflate the price and then pay it back over a longer period and pay more back without knowing everything up front? All right, here's a few ways. I've got 6 ways to really identify some of these wolves out there and make sure that you're not working with the wrong person. First one is check out their social media or online presence. You'll find that a lot of these dodgy companies that are just rushing out there because they're trying to take advantage of you and all the incentives don't have any actual proper photos. So it's all 3D renders or just fake photos, no testimonials. The pages, the business and the page has suddenly only been around for the last 6 or 12 months. Be aware of that. The other thing, what you'll notice with that is that they'll still claim to have helped hundreds, if not thousands of clients get into their own homes without any proof, right? We're not silly. You'll understand it. You'll see it. How can someone that's helped thousands of people into their own home not have 5 testimonials? Like, not everyone wants to do a testimonial, right? We understand that. But how does someone that's helped thousands or hundreds not have 5? Sounds a bit dodge. Point number 2, read the comments, especially some of these builders that are putting on Facebook and social media how their start price of like 127 or 144,000. Read through the comments and see what other people are saying based on their experiences. Don't just read it and go, someone goes, it's a scam, so then think, oh, it must be a scam. But actually read the comments with substance and understand if it's actually true or not. You'll get people to complain if something's happened wrong, and it'll be a good telltale sign to know if you're actually dealing with the right person. Point number 3, and I have nothing against working from home, but what you'll find is the companies that overpromise, and some of them are a one-man band. I have no problems with someone starting out and wanting to work, but if you're working from home, you definitely have not helped hundreds of people get into their own home, nor have you helped thousands. You know, these people that work from home are claiming they're experts. There's no possible way. If you're an expert in your field, why are you working from home? Obviously, your business isn't busy enough to actually have an office and have a bigger company. There's a massive red flag to understand if you're working the right or wrong person. No substance. They rush you into a contract. We actually had a client, it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that come across to us after I frustrated with another company. And they were saying that they actually signed contracts the first time they met. They hadn't even had a chance to look properly through the area and the development and understand their options, and they'll just force them to sign contracts straight away, and then said, don't worry about finance, we'll collect pay slips and all the rest later, and we'll sort that out. That is a red flag, no go. Do not do that. Do not go out there rushing to get into something just because, what do we got now? I think 33 days remaining of the Home Builder Boost. Just because it's a limited time, we've got a limited time remaining, doesn't mean you rush out and just get anything. Make sure it's the right deal for you. Point number 5, contracts straight away. I spoke about that. No finance checks, no land inspection check. I would always recommend that you drive out to the area, understand the area, check out the block that you're going to be living, to make sure that it is right for you and your family before you even sign on the dotted line. Unless you've actually been there, know the area and love it, right? You need to go to that block, check it out, and make sure that it's for you and your family. Point number 6, your gut feel. You'll always get that gut feeling when it seems too good to be true or a little bit odd, right? And trust it, go with it. Don't just jump in. The other thing, and I don't like to say this as a bad thing, but generally, a lot of people that get ripped off come through friends and family because they trust them. Just because it's a friend or family, still do the same research you should anyway, and to understand that if now's the right time. Here's another thing. If you're only just paying your rent without saving money, do not buy a home. Unless you're paying $1,000 a week in rent and you're about to get to a home that's $400,000-$500,000, that does not justify buying it. Make sure that you're in the position to save money on top of paying rent, because if you're at top now, you've got no room to move. And I'm not here to say interest rates are going to jump to 10% in the next 12 months or anything crazy like that. But if you're just living to your means right now, do not buy a house and put yourself in a position where you can default or push yourself back in life. And the last one, and really I want to talk about this, is you'll understand this, but just do your own research and make sure it's right for you and your family. Don't just rush into it. You just get shown. If someone comes to you and says, if you want to buy a home, here's the house, here's a block of land, go do it. That doesn't make sense, right? You look for the land, you make sure you're happy with the land, you work through house designs that will fit on that block, and then you proceed, not one at a time. The other thing you need to be prepared for is builders that want you to put a deposit down today to get some discount or guarantee, doesn't guarantee that you're going to get it. And so here's the thing. If you have not seen a mortgage broker, not seen a property coach like my team that have helped you prepare and got you in a position to go, okay, you're in a position to buy or not, do not go rushing out, putting down $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 as a non-refundable deposit so they can get working drawings and soil tests and survey plans just to get into the market, right? Because the chances are you may lose it all. And we've had clients that have lost $3,000 because They were rushed into it. They hadn't fully seen a mortgage broker or gone to a bank or gone to someone that said, okay, you're in a position to buy. And as a result, it got to the point they've already paid for these working drawings. Now, $3,000 is a lot of money for 20 pieces of paper to tell you what the house could have looked like. All right, guys, I hope you have a great Saturday. It's good to see the sun's out and that we haven't got much to complain about here in Brisbane. Enjoy your day. Bye.